All right, we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. I don't have a lot for the quest for creativity today. It'll probably be pretty short. We're back inside just because, I don't know. I'm going to have to be leaving here soon, so I don't want to be outside working on stuff. So, project shifts. I am now working towards a definite project rather than the general world building project that I had been working on. I decided that I needed to start producing something. In a way, and this might be something that you have encountered if you do much world building or something else. But sometimes world building itself can be a way that you spin your wheels. Your life drug? I'm glad. I'm so glad. World building can be a way to spin your wheels, and that kind of reminds me that sometimes what you think your creative endeavor is less of a creative endeavor and more of a creative procrastination strategy. So I'm going to start producing some stories. I have these cards here, these little index cards for a weekly chapter episodic release of a story that I'm writing. Strider, you'd know, it's based on Tenderfoot, the world that I was building in a tabletop campaign I was designing. It's kind of based on it. It's similar. I don't know if it's the exact same universe or not. I think it's like a closely related universe or a peri-universe, or a para-universe of it, something, a parallel one, something like that. And I have the first chapter drafted, and so what I'm doing on these cards is to share part of my process, which is what this is about. So I have my character cards that just have my major players that I've named and got personalities and general story arcs planned for. And then I have these cards divided by chapters. And I'm writing them, every card is a scene. And so I'm writing a scene on every chapter. And it's a really brief, rough outline. This is just a writing exercise that I sort of had read about. I sort of modified it to what my needs were, what I thought would be most productive for me, and it's been good. It's helping me structure the story out because I want to write something good. I don't want to write just pulp stuff, which is fine. Pulp stuff's good. I could just immediately start producing it, and it can be a good way to just ignite instantly the creative passion. But I kind of wanted to give myself some lead time, so right now, we'll just call it Project Tenderfoot for now because I don't have the name perfectly cemented yet. I'm not happy with any of the names I've come up with for this one. Tentatively, Project Tenderfoot. So, for Project Tenderfoot, I'm going to start releasing chapters in March. Probably around March 3rd. That's a Friday, I believe, if my my memory of the calendar is correct. Around March 3rd, either the night of March 3rd or the morning of March 4th. So Friday, Saturday, it's not going to be a very strict schedule, but basically either I will upload it Friday, and if it's not Friday, I upload it Saturday. So it'd be a chapter every week. So every week you'd get a chapter of the Project Tenderfoot story, and I'm giving myself until March because I want to have enough drafted out and revised, not just drafted. I want to have enough of it completely done and enough ideas going into the future completed so that I'll be able to give myself some lead time so I can keep writing some quality stuff until the end of the chapter. I don't know how well this will work out. I've never really done this before. I've had a similar project before, but that's what's going to happen. That's the plan, and we'll adjust accordingly because I'd rather put out something that's quality than something else. Who knows? Maybe I'll start writing these chapters and I'll be doing it weekly, and I'll be running to the end of my rope and say, okay, there's going to have to be a little sort of hiatus break thing that goes on. And I'll cross that bridge when I get there. So it'll ultimately be a sort of I don't know, lost the train of thought. I guess just a malleable process. Like, it could change on the fly, where I could say, okay, we're taking a break. I'll be back in another month. And in that month, I just generate some material. I'm not a very fast creator, so we'll see how this works. I just don't want to release the chapters in a monthly format, because I do ultimately think that would be too slow, and that people would not get enough bang for their buck. Because if you're waiting a month and someone writes something absolutely stellar and phenomenal, then no problem. But if it's someone like me who writes very slow and it's not the most incredible thing on the planet, you better hope it's fast enough to keep people locked in. So there's some strategy there on my part with trying to keep this creative and good for me, but also entertaining and good for readers and potential audience. So that's the project right now. Today's Quest for Creativity is going to have to be short, because I just don't have a ton on my mind right now. I'm really digging into this project. I highly recommend, I guess as an exercise, is just switch up your creative methodology. Give some time to think about, am I actually making anything, or is the thing that I'm making something I want to make? Do I think it's good? If I don't think it's good, what would make it good? Just not be super hypercritical of yourself, but just scrutinize your own methodology and say, okay, what needs to change? Because ultimately, what I've noticed in creativity is there's two things. Is that there's two states, essentially. You're either producing or you are not. And sometimes there's a preparation to produce, which is still not producing. But those are like the two main states. You're either making things and you're exercising the act of creation. You're participating in the act of creation, or you are not. You may be preparing for it, and that's good, but you're not. And I guess I was tired of being in the not category, so I had to start getting at something fundamental. And what I've noticed is there's an escalation in difficulty. There's an escalation in, okay, so all that world building I was doing before, it wasn't that difficult, and I'd reached a sort of stopping point with it, just because you can only go so far without actually getting in there and making something. It's messy. It's a messy process. You got to get your hands on the clay to form it. You can think about the form of it all day long. You can write down the way you want to form it and how fast you need to spin the bowl and what sort of hand, poses you have to be in to make certain forms on the pottery. But you got to get your hands in there. You got to get dirty. It's messy, and you might mess up, and you got to start over. But this has been much more challenging, and I think that's good, because part of challenging yourself is part of the creative process. Like, you've got to be pushing it all the time. That's why you always see these people, like, okay, we're pushing the envelope on the show. We gotta go higher and further, and that's part of it, I think. So again, I'm keeping this one short. It's pretty focused. I've just got this one thing in my mind of just produce something. I've already had that video where I end it by saying just make something, but man, I mean it. It really is the only way to get anywhere. If you want to be creative, create something. No one's saying it has to be good. No one's saying it has to be incredible. No one's saying it'll have to stand the test of time for 1,000 years. No one's saying anything. If anything, there's just a little voice inside of you that's saying, I want to make something, and that's the only voice you got to listen to. And just listen to it. Just make something. Talk to it if you have to. I want to make something. What do you want to make? I'm not sure. Well, what kind of thing do you want to make? A drawing. Okay, great. What should we draw? I don't know. What about that? What about something from a show I like? Okay, let's do it. And then do it. Then just do it. Just, I think we overcomplicate creativity, and to the point that it's detrimental to us, because I don't know, I don't know if it's an anxiety or if it's a fear or something. I don't know what it is in us that makes us want to refrain from creating. There's some hesitation, judgment from others. I don't know what it is, but we all seem kind of standoffish and awkward. Like, I don't know how to get in there, and it's no one knows how to get in there. You just get in there. Just jump in. So that's the encouragement for this week. Jump in. Just jump in and be creative. I don't have a ton for anybody today. God, let's just do it. Just do it. I just do the quest for creativity. It's a really short one, probably one of the shortest ones I've done, and that's it. I'm gonna rewriting on this. I'm gonna make this. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna make more chapters. I'm gonna sit there and puzzle them out and say, how do I make this story work? I'm gonna make it hurt myself because it's hurting me already. It's going to be something I just get in there and I just do it. It's painful. I make decisions I don't like. I come back later when they kind of work themselves out, but you just have to do it. It's a process. Sometimes a not fun process, but once you sit back and say, finally, I bent everything into the shape I wanted. I took everything out that I didn't need, and I got it right where I want it. Maybe you don't get it right where you want it, but you can step back and at least say, I got it closer to where I want it, and that's all you got to do. That's the creative process, and do it today. For the love of God, do it today. Just get in there, start working on something, and get messy. Just create. Even though it's painful, just create something. Put something on paper. Make a brush stroke. Talk to someone about a project, to cut the wood, bend the metal, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, do it. Just do it. Today, make some solid step rather than stare at the step and go, well, that's it. I have to do it. Good work for today. No, just go do the step. Just go do the step. That's the quest for creativity today. Just take the step. Just take it, and even if you don't complete it, do as much of it as you can. And that's the quest for creativity today. I'm going to end this here. So I'm going to do my little countdown, my little 5-second one. It's a short one. We're under 15 minutes. Probably that's good, I think, to keep these shorter and more focused, because I just ramble otherwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm out of here. Catch y'all on the flip side.